Under the fading afternoon light, Sayan stared blankly at the leaky tin roof of his house. Even though he had secured a brilliant golden A+ in his higher secondary exams, his heart was heavy with a mountain of despair as he watched his friends enroll in expensive university coaching centers. In a family where gathering the money for a single university admission form felt like an impossible hurdle, the dream of higher education was nothing short of a distant luxury. It was precisely at this vulnerable moment that Rabeya Begum entered their lives. She was a newly moved-in tenant next door and a retired government school teacher by profession. Sayan's father had just returned from a hard day's labor and was washing up when Rabeya Begum stepped into their courtyard holding a stack of university admission guidebooks. Looking at Sayan's mother, she offered a warm smile and said, "Assalamu alaikum. I recently moved in next door. I heard your son, Sayan, achieved exceptional results this year, but he cannot pursue further education due to financial constraints. I want him to come to my apartment every afternoon. I will personally take care of his university preparation, guidelines, books, and bear all his coaching expenses." Sayan's father, feeling a wave of embarrassment, replied humbly, "Appa, you do not know us. Why would you spend so much money on a complete stranger in this day and age? We live hand to mouth. We could never repay such a massive debt." Rabeya Begum replied with a calm yet firm resolve, "You do not have to repay anything. As a teacher, it is my moral duty to stand by a brilliant student. I only want him to study with all his heart and secure a place in a top university." At his mother's earnest insistence, Sayan began attending lessons at her apartment from the very next day. Her way of teaching was extraordinary. She simplified complex English grammar so effortlessly that Sayan's lost self-confidence began to flourish once more. However, as the days passed, a strange sense of mystery began to take root in Sayan's mind. Rabeya Begum lived completely alone in that spacious flat. No relatives ever visited her. One evening, while taking notes at the study table, Sayan noticed her staring at him with absolute concentration, her eyes welling with tears. Catching his gaze, she hurriedly brushed her tears away and said, "Sayan, finish this math problem. I will go to the kitchen and prepare some noodles and tea for you." As soon as she left, Sayan's curiosity got the better of him. He gently flipped open a personal diary resting on her table. Tucked inside the pages was a passport-sized photograph of a young man, and underneath it was written, "My Adib." Sayan's heart skipped a beat. Hearing footsteps approaching from the kitchen, he quickly shut the diary. The first seed of doubt was sown. Why would anyone in this inherently selfish world spend thousands of taka on a complete stranger without a hidden motive? A few days later, while Sayan was walking home after purchasing books from the library, Iman, a notorious local rogue, whistled from behind to stop him. With a sly smirk, Iman draped his arm over Sayan's shoulder and scoffed, "Hey, Sayan, haven't seen you around the block lately. Word is you're serving daily duty at that rich madam's flat every afternoon. What's with all this free hospitality, brother?" Annoyed, Sayan brushed his hand away and replied, "Look, Iman, she is an educator. She is helping me get into a good university. Stop talking nonsense." Iman lowered his voice to a whisper. "Ah, you really are a naive sheep walking straight to the slaughterhouse. Let me give you a free piece of advice. Be careful. That woman's real intentions are sinister. You are walking right into a trap. I won't say much, but you will understand everything one day." Those final words, "You will understand everything one day," acted like venom in Sayan's mind. The picture of the unknown boy, Rabeya Begum's haunting silence, and Iman's malicious warning all combined to convince Sayan that an imminent danger lurked behind her kindness. Paralyzed by fear and suspicion, Sayan stopped going to her apartment. Her calls came repeatedly, but he lacked the courage to answer. 4 days passed. Suddenly, a series of frantic, heavy knocks echoed through Sayan's front door. Sayan's mother opened it to find Rabeya Begum standing outside. Her face was pale, her hair disheveled, and she looked thoroughly consumed by anxiety. Breathing heavily, Rabeya Begum gasped, "Sayan's mother, where is Sayan? He hasn't come to study for 4 days, nor is he answering my calls. I was terrified that he had fallen gravely ill. I haven't slept a wink all night." Deeply embarrassed and enraged, Sayan's mother summoned him from his room, shouting, "Sayan, come out here right now. Didn't you tell me that she was unwell and had asked you not to come for a few days? How dare you lie to such a noble soul?" Sayan stepped out of his room, his voice a volatile mix of defiance and anxiety. "Yes, I lied. I am not going to her place anymore, and I don't want a single taka of her money. Mother, you don't know what is inside her mind. No one in this world spends their hard-earned money to educate someone for free. She definitely has a dark motive." Hearing this, Rabeya Begum looked utterly shattered. The color drained from her face as tears streamed down her cheeks uncontrollably. In a broken voice, she whispered, "A dark motive? Sayan, how could you say that to me? Who poured this poison into your mind?" Stuttering slightly, Sayan replied, "Iman from the alley corner told me everything. He told me to be careful around you." Wiping her tears, Rabeya Begum suddenly grew solemn and firm. "Iman said that?" she stated coldly. "Come, Sayan, today I will put an end to this mystery once and for all. You and your mother come with me right now." Under the harsh midday sun, Iman was hanging out at a local tea stall, laughing with his friends. The moment he saw Sayan, Begum called out commandingly, "Iman, stand right there!" Trembling with fear, Iman froze. Rabeya Begum spoke with a sharp, authoritative tone. "What vile lies have you been feeding Sayan about me? Confess the truth in front of everyone right now, or I am taking you straight to the police station." Lowering his head, Iman stammered, "Madam, actually, I was just joking." Rabeya Begum turned to Sayan and said, "Sayan, now listen to the absolute truth. This Iman came to me last year to learn English, but instead of studying, he was caught red-handed attempting to steal exam question papers and my pension savings from my drawer. Out of pure spite, jealousy, and malice, he poisoned your mind against me, intending to ruin the future of a brilliant boy like you." Looking at Iman's guilty, defeated face, reality hit Sayan like a thunderbolt. He felt a crushing wave of remorse for his utter foolishness. Evening had fallen. A heavy, mournful silence blanketed Rabeya Begum's living room. Suffused with shame, Sayan kept his eyes glued to the floor and whispered, "Madam, please forgive me. I see through Iman's conspiracy now, but there is still one question that haunts me. One day I saw a picture of a boy in your drawer with 'My Adib' written underneath. Why do you look at me and weep like that sometimes? What is your true purpose, madam?" Rabeya Begum stared at Sayan with a vacant, distant gaze for a long moment. Then, letting out a heavy sigh, she fetched the diary and the photograph from her inner room and sat down across from him. Weeping softly, she began, "You want to know whose picture this is? This is my only child, Adib. Exactly 4 years ago, just like you, he left the house to sit for his university admission exam, and a horrific road accident snatched him away from me forever. He dreamed of earning a doctorate. He had so many grand dreams, Sayan." With trembling hands, Rabeya Begum took Sayan's hands into her own and gently cupped his face. "The very day I first saw you in this neighborhood, Sayan, my breath caught in my throat. Your posture, the way you adjust your glasses, even the fierce determination in your eyes, it is the spitting image of my Adib. When I discovered you couldn't study due to a lack of money, I felt as though God had emptied my lap only to return my Adib to me in your form. I found the shadow of my late son in you, my child. I only wanted to fulfill the dreams through you that my Adib never lived to achieve. I had no other motive, my son, none at all." Hearing her harrowing confession, a profound sense of self-hatred and immense guilt washed over Sayan. He realized that he had put the pure, untainted love of a grieving mother on trial over a baseless doubt. Overcome with emotion, Sayan could no longer restrain himself. He slid off the sofa, threw his arms around Rabeya Begum's feet, and wept uncontrollably. Through his tears, Sayan cried out, "Please forgive me, mother. I made a terrible mistake. From this day on, I will never call you madam again. From today, your Adib will never leave you alone or go anywhere without you, mother." Exuding a profound sense of peace, Rabeya Begum pulled Sayan up to her chest, embracing him tightly while running her fingers through his hair. A beautiful, radiant smile appeared on her face for the first time in years. Standing near the doorway, Sayan's mother also wept, wiping her eyes with the corner of her sari. The dark clouds of suspicion cleared away, and the sun of a beautiful, sacred relationship rose over their lives. The world may operate on selfish equations, but there is absolutely no substitute for a mother's love. Sayan found his mother, and a mother found her long-lost Adib.